complained about how 4 and 5 black women are beasts. Half of the murders us killing in the streets. Almost half of abortions too. This a rap verse, but this is a warning too. And go against God like there's nothing more to do. But y'all don't care, y'all just really want a voice that's new. Wanna gang bang, do drugs, wish drugs all above. Sell drugs till you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother. Sold to an undercover, kids gotta raise each other. This what you want for the future? Or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Why? Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you.
We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
Yo, it's crazy that when I sit back and look, that even within the black community, we have a whole war going on amongst conservatives and others, simply about how we want to move the black community forward.
I saw that on the gram, Snoop made a post, bashing on some black educated folks. Calling them a coon, no it wasn't jokes. Man, you tripping like your foot caught between the spokes. You couldn't hold a light next to hurricane. So the main with better class and better brains. Out rebuilding our communities and other things. Like making up for all the damage from the dope and slang. Candace O, she's a queen in her own right. Not the type to monetize off her own plight. Working hard for black America day and night. Understand that you're not the only dog in this fight. Terrorists can't refuse to be a product of the system. Bounce around the foster care, no he ain't a victim. You got probation and luckily dies going to prison. Yeah, you believe you had the right to pose criticism? David Harris, I can tell the pain's authentic. They truly cares for the people, meaning all pigment. Your music is a reason why this generation's violent. Another reason why I couldn't stay silent. Miss Staten, she's a G, she did real time. All you do is talk about it, a real crime. But even that can't hold her back while she steady climb the long ladder to success in these troubled times. Sammy, what's wrong with Pastor Darrell Scott? You hating on the man, simply hide what we got. When he supported you when you was Snoop lying. Even when the majority figure Snoop lying. Look, I ain't falling for the tongue in cheek. Your virtual threats, man, they kinda weak. Cause I bet you ain't stepping to the Hodge twins. Just to fight with Shaw loses and Hobbs wins. You hate on Diamond and Silk, Paris Bernard. They support the president and that is regardless of all the hate that they receive. Being loyal is a trait that a dog can't.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire, the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things. With me, the Kick-Ass Duke. That's right. It's Dusty.
Right. What's up, Ivory Tower? You're just so ivory tonight.
You're so tower-like.
Oh, and so opinionated. Oh, yeah. Love those opinions.
Well, perspectives.
Yeah. Opinions, perspectives. They're all good to me.
Well, I talked about this with Ray. I used to be opinions, and then I changed it to perspectives. Because I was watching this wrestler named Al Snow.
Okay.
And he was talking about how the dawn of the internet has changed wrestling. You know, because now you have what are called smart marks. So wrestling fans to the wrestler were always called marks because ultimately the start of wrestling was in the carnival. You know,
Yeah.
so it's always been, you know, a con job kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so
It's a show.
wrestling fans are marks. All right. And it's not, and like nowadays, that's not like a pejorative, you know, tearing them down. That's just what they are. But smarks or smart marks are marks who know all the lingo and know everything going on behind the scenes and think that that makes them experts, you know? And so, they all have their opinions on how things should be done. And he basically laid it out, and he was right. You know, opinions are the lowest form of information because it doesn't have to be based in reality. Now, of course, we try to base our opinions in reality, and I think when you do that, you come out with a perspective. All right.
Okay.
So
That makes a lot more sense.
We're one step higher than an opinion. We're a perspective.
And the great thing about perspectives is they're easier to change.
True. Yes.
Input new data, get new perspectives.
Yep.
Where opinions they're harder to change because
there's so much tied
they're
to
usually
identity and emotion.
feelings.
Yeah.
Feelings. Nothing more than feelings.
So anyway, we're gonna be talking about the whole Facebook fiasco from yesterday.
Not Facebook.
Yeah, I know. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp down for like the entire day.
Most of it.
Just about.
That's interesting. That happened yesterday, right?
Yeah. And my understanding is it coincided almost perfectly with another event that was happening. But it had to be completely unrelated, this other event.
Oh. What other event was it?
So there's this whistleblower from some company, and she was prepared. She was going to meet in front of the Senate, I think.
Okay.
Was it the Senate?
Yeah. House. The Senate Subcommittee on Communication Protection, Product Safety, and Data Security.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very
Sounds like a fun committee.
specific.
We got Toasty Toonsill in the chat. Thanks for watching. Hey there, I have some insider stuff about that. Hey, lay it on us in the chat. Love to see. Love to hear what you got to say. You know,
right?
So I'm gonna go ahead and read a couple articles real quick.
Great.
So the first one's from the Epoch Times. Okay. This is anyway. So this woman is supposed to, and she's from a company. And what company was that? Oh, it was Facebook.
Ooh,
interesting.
Not Facebook.
Interesting. This woman's name is Frances Haugen, a former employee of the tech giant. In a rare show of bipartisanship, and watch me roll my eyes. If you can't hear it, it's happening right now. Bipartisanship. A block of Republicans and Democrats joined together to demand action against the company for the betterment of America. Haugen, who used to work as a lead product manager for Facebook's civic misinformation team, came before the Senate to discuss the company's internal practices with special emphasis placed on the ways that these practices disproportionately affect children. Haugen explained, I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy. I agree with that.
Yeah. All of that is true.
She added, I believe in the potential of Facebook. We can have social media we enjoy that connects us without tearing apart our democracy, putting our children in danger, and sowing ethnic violence around the world. We can do better. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut observed during his opening remarks that predatory targeting and marketing practices by Facebook have quote put profits ahead of people. A Wall Street Journal expose which found that Facebook knew and hid information about the addictive nature of Facebook and its subsidiary social media platform Instagram prompted the meeting. However, the conversation between Haugen and the subcommittee delved deeper into the company's practices. The whistleblower said that during her time at the company, she often saw the company faced with a choice between its own profits and our safety. Remember that. Our safety, okay?
Yeah.
With these
our safety, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. When these conflicts arose, Haugen said the company consistently resolved these conflicts in favor of its own profits. I not surprised by that, but we'll get into that deeper later. One such conflict pointed out by Blumenthal was the company's intentional targeting of children. Not cool. Blumenthal said that as an experiment, he and his team put together an account on Instagram posing as a teenaged girl with an eating disorder. He said that Instagram's algorithm quickly picked up on this and showed content glorifying and encouraging disorders like anorexia and bulimia. I don't know what content that is, but, that's interesting at least. Not cool if true. At all. But Haugen expanded on the point, saying that despite their claims not to target children, Facebook sees children as a great marketing opportunity. Because they are so young, Haugen said, younger teens and even preteens do not have ingrained habits and can be molded by advertisers into developing new habits. Well, for sure. Talks about vaping, advertisements, and stuff like that. And then they go on to say that this is Facebook's big tobacco moment. Blumenthal puts this. Both Republicans and Democrats during the hearing put forward their support for abandoning or significantly reforming Section 230 protections for the social media platform. Now, we've talked about this before. This is the one that basically makes them immune to liability for content that's posted on their platforms. Toasty Toonsel, welcome to the Rube Empire, where the people are
What's
free,
up, Toasty?
the taxes are voluntary, and we do the show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
We serve freshly roasted liberal logic. I love the roasting of the logic.
Yes, of course. I was just making it quick because we're in the middle of a discussion. But thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so so I think that they should. I think that they should be held accountable for their practices. See, the thing about this is that their practices are selective. They edit.
Yes.
They should not be editing any content. If they are except for at best illegal content, right?
Yeah, well,
at best.
If they would do that, that would be great. But they don't even do that.
True. But again, that's for later. So they shouldn't be editing any content, and because they are, they shouldn't, then they're responsible for what's allowed on their platform because they're editing some and not others.
Correct.
Let's see. Let's read what Toasty Toonsel has to say. This
Okay.
all has to do with the election. Part of the downtime was a wipe of all their data that could be used against them, e.g. evidence of them using algorithms to tamper with the thoughts of people and make them vote a certain way, manipulating votes, helping falsify the selection, etc.
Yes.
Allegedly, YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest, that was a hack of massive proportions. I have my suspicions as to who did it, but I'm not naming names. And the 7 billion lost, I'll be he says I'll be taken out for sure if I talk any further about that on here. And then he types allegedly with a smiley face. Yes.
Allegedly.
Um, I don't have anything to say against that.
I don't either. It's pretty much everything that I've read so far and found out is that
Take that
everybody's
information
on Facebook is now exposed.
Take that information and do with it what you will. Okay, so
Crazy.
Haugen encouraged lawmakers to move ahead with the action, but emphasized that the platform's problems could not be solved by Section 230 reform alone. A company with such frightening influence over so many people needs real oversight, she said. Are you hearing things? Remember? Our safety, and now real oversight.
Yes.
Haugen concluded Congress can change the rules that Facebook plays by and stop the many harms it is now causing. We now know the truth about Facebook's destructive impact. We must act now. I'm asking you, our elected representatives, to act. And then Blumenthal says, this is Facebook's big tobacco moment. Okay, so and then I'm going to jump to another article from CBS, and then we'll get into the discussion.
Okay.
So it starts out with a kind of pretentious. Her name is Frances Haugen. That is a fact that Facebook has been anxious to know since last month when an anonymous former employee filed complaints with federal law enforcement. And then it talks about how, Facebook's and Instagram harmed teenage girls, what we heard about in the previous article. Frances Haugen.
They've been saying about magazines for the last 30 years.
Yeah. Frances Haugen. The thing I saw at Facebook over and over again was there were conflicts of interest between what was good for the public, so for our safety, good for the public, and what was good for Facebook. And Facebook over and over again chose to optimize for its own interests, like making more money. Frances Haugen is 37, a data scientist from Iowa with a degree in computer engineering and a Harvard master's degree in business. A Harvard master's degree. For 15 years, she's worked for companies including Google and Pinterest. Frances Haugen, I've seen a bunch of social networks, and it was substantially worse at Facebook than anything I'd seen before. This is Scott Pelley. I guess he's the author of the article. Someone else might have just quit. Someone else might have just quit and moved on. And I wonder why you take this stand. Tell us, why are you so virtuous? Frances Haugen, imagine you know what's going on inside of Facebook and you know no one on the outside knows. I knew what my future looked like if I continued to stay inside of Facebook, which is person after person after person has tackled this inside of Facebook and ground themselves to the ground. Scott Pelley, when and how did it occur to you to take all of these documents out of the company? At some point in 2021, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to do this in a systemic way. Who uses words like systemic? The left. And I have to get out enough that no one can question that this is real. She secretly copied tens of thousands of pages of Facebook internal research. She says evidence shows that the company is lying to the public about making significant progress against hate, violence, and misinformation.
I wonder what she's referring to.
Yeah. One study she found from this year says we estimate that we may action as little as 3 to 5% of hate and about 0.6% of violence and incitement on Facebook, despite being the best in the world at it. To quote, Scott Pelley says, to quote from another one of the documents you brought out, we have evidence from a variety of sources that hate speech, divisive political speech, and misinformation on Facebook and the family of apps are affecting societies around the world. Frances Haugen, when we live in an information environment that is full of angry, hateful, polarizing content, it erodes our civic trust. It erodes our faith in each other. It erodes our ability to want to care for each other. The version of Facebook that exists today is tearing our societies apart and causing ethnic violence around the world. Ethnic violence, including, now this is the author, including Myanmar in 2018 when the military used Facebook to launch a genocide. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either. not saying it didn't happen, but I'm
Just
also
haven't heard of it.
not saying that. Yeah, whatever. I haven't heard of it. Okay. Oh, here it says, Frances Haugen told us she was recruited by Facebook in 2019. She says she agreed to take the job only if she could work against misinformation because she had lost a friend to online conspiracy theories.
Okay. My neck's starting to hurt from all the head tilts.
Right? I never wanted anyone to feel the pain that I had felt, and I had seen how high the stakes were in terms of making sure there was high quality information on Facebook. This is... Okay, so she worked on the civic integrity team. Basically, they said... So, basically, they dissolved the civic integrity team right after the election.
Yeah, because it didn't work.
Well, and they basically said, oh, good. No, well, I think it was this election, this most recent election.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. We made it through the election. There wasn't riots. We can get rid of civic integrity now, is what they were telling her. So that's there's more to this article, but it doesn't matter. We've gotten the gist of it, right?
Yes.
There's a lot more to this.
In other words, the right person got elected
This is
in their eyes.
Well, it's even more than... Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that. But, yeah, this is a really long article for what? It's basically just highlighting her story since she went public and all that stuff. But we've gotten the gist of her intent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so give me your thoughts. What do you think about?
So what she's pretty much advocating for is tighter policies from the government. So Facebook needs to crack down on this huge quotation marks hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
Which, how do you define hate speech?
Oh, I mean,
there is
easy.
No such thing as hate speech.
Conservative, right-leaning,
anything
speech.
you disagree with that causes you
if
to
you
feel,
hate it, it's hate. If you hate what they're saying, it's hate speech.
Exactly. So they want more control over that. You cannot regulate speech in a free society. In a free society that has laws against limiting speech, you cannot limit any kind of speech. And they're advocating for more of that, which is not what I would agree with. Now, do I agree with what Facebook is doing? No. What do I think is going to happen?
Limiting speech.
More of it. Oh, yeah. My posts constantly get either flagged, blocked, or just people, nobody can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. My wife posts stuff all the time, gets 200 to 300 reactions. Me, who have the same amount of friends and the same friends, 2 people see it.
Yep.
Could be the exact same post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you say throttling?
And so she's out here championing. She's out here saying Facebook is lying to us because what they're doing to you, they're not doing enough of.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
No.
This isn't a win. This isn't a win
It's
for
not a
America. All right? And then the next thing is that the Republicans and the Democrats are coming together to save the day because they see the threat here. And what's the threat?
That they don't control it enough.
Exactly.
They don't have their fingers deep enough
so
into that well.
Instead of doing what is necessary and saying, no, the freedom of speech applies. You are the public square.
Right.
Or you're an editor and you're liable for what's posted there.
You either need to be one or the other.
Yep.
If you want to be the editor, then go be the editor, and okay, you now can say you can't say this, can't say this. You are now regulated by the FCC, right?
Yep.
You're now television,
Yep.
because we all know how well television is doing right now.
For sure.
Why is everybody going to streaming services? Because you can do more on streaming services.
Yep. But instead of doing that, what they're going to do is regulate Facebook. But it turns out that that's what Facebook wants.
Yes.
Facebook wants to be regulated. They've advocated it multiple times.
They want everybody regulated just like them.
Yes.
Because if
Obviously.
everybody's regulated,
yeah, it won't be a Facebook.
Nobody can speak out.
It won't be a Facebook special regulation. It'll be an internet regulation. This is basically net neutrality.
Yes.
In a different form, you know?
Well, no, it's net neutrality under a different bow. Same package, same wrapping, just a different bow.
Yeah. Toasty Toonsel says it's because the algorithm is biased against you due to past content you have shared or even your online activity outside Facebook. It's like a social credit score. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Facebook wants that regulation, and here's why they want the regulation. It's the same reason any giant company wants regulation, because they're the ones who can afford it. They're already giant. They got money out the wazoo. They can afford overhauling according to regulations. You know who can't? And the regulations won't stop at, speech and stuff. It'll be very, very cost-intensive regulations as well that they can afford, but any competitor, any startup that's trying to compete in that space can't. So there won't. So your parlors, it doesn't matter that they're on a new server. That won't be taken down by Amazon. It doesn't matter. They can't compete anymore.
It doesn't matter if it's Trump's new social network.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Because it'll all be regulated and
regulated into the ground. And all you'll be left with is Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and nothing new. TikTok, because TikTok has China money behind it. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing new will be able to withstand it unless it's built by some other giant corporation that does not care about you and wants to be on the side of the regime, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is a con job.
Oh, completely.
I mean, yeah, what she's exposing is that they're selective in their things. And you made a good point off air that notice they're not talking about how child pornography is rampant all over Facebook. No. And that nothing's being done about that, even though it is. Yes.
Oh yeah. And
then we're talking about advertisements and hate speech, which is always undefined, but means people who think like we do. Right?
Well, just people that don't think like they do.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, because there's a lot of
people
whatever the
flavor of the month is.
Don't agree with
whatever the progressive flavor of the month is, they'll make sure to ban. And so they have this woman. I wouldn't be surprised if this woman is doing this at the behest of Facebook. That this was all planned. I mean, didn't Zuckerberg ask for regulation when he was appearing before Congress?
Yeah. He said, well, just regulate it and we'll follow the regulations. If you don't like what we're doing, Make a rule about it.
And so
That's what he said.
They put up this woman, or and by they I'm saying the media and Congress and possibly Facebook, but that's just speculation. I have no facts behind that. So this is me thinking out loud, right?
Yeah.
They put up this woman as a hero who's sticking it to Facebook. And if you're not paying attention, you're going, yeah, it's about time these giant big tech companies go down. Oh yeah, they're being selective. Oh, and they're targeting kids. That's bad. Yeah, it is bad. It is bad. Of course it is.
Not going to find anybody that argues with that point.
Yeah. But then you're missing all the other stuff. They're only catching 3 to 5% of hate speech. What is hate speech?
Yeah.
Let people say what they have to say. And you can either toss it out the window because you don't agree with it, or it's garbage, it's hateful garbage, or you take it in. And that's none of Facebook's business. Except that it is their platform. But I think we're beyond the point of the whole business. I mean, the Facebook these big tech companies are essentially an arm of the government anyway. They're so intertwined,
And is it a business?
And this is just going to make it more.
A platform?
Yeah, and they want to get more entwined with the government.
Yes. Of course.
And
the more entwined with the government, the more money they get, and the harder it is to compete with them.
And now we're being duped into pushing for exactly that, making it so much worse for us. This is not going to go our way. This is not going to go our way.
So,
fight me on that.
One of the things that I found interesting was that yesterday, Facebook goes down. Employees can't even get into the building to help resolve this issue. And
I wonder why.
All of a sudden, all this data goes missing from Facebook. Wonder what happened.
If every employee couldn't get in, or if there were some
certain employees couldn't get it.
Yeah. Certain employees who had a job to do, of deleting massive amounts of data.
Yeah. The data that is relevant in the pending lawsuit against them. Because if that lawsuit goes forward, that's no longer just data. That's evidence.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot destroy it. But if it's already destroyed, wow.
But even then,
we were hacked.
Yeah. But even then, well, yeah, you're right. They don't want, they need to get rid of truly incriminating evidence beforehand.
Yes. Yeah.
So that they can get through the hearing process scot-free into the regulated world of their dreams. Right?
So they can finally get rid of the deplorables, the undesirables.
Yeah, the credulous Rube Empire. See what I did there?
Oh, yes.
So don't buy into it, people. Wake up, America. This is a con job.
Read the lines, then read the meaning between the lines.
Yeah, if she's not in this position on Facebook's behalf, and I'm not saying that she is, kudos to her for fighting, for quote unquote fighting against her former employer. But ultimately, everything she's advocating for, except for the harmful advertisement targeting of children, which we're all against.
Yes.
She does not stand for American ideals. She doesn't give a care about the freedom of speech at all.
In fact, I think that's probably one of the things she fights against more than anything else is
Yeah.
people's freedom of speech. Because what happens when they take away your freedom of speech?
Yeah, divisive political content she mentions. What does that mean?
Yeah. When you take away freedom of speech, you're also taking away freedom of thought.
Yeah.
If you can't think, you can't reason.
Mm-hmm. That's textbook Jordan Peterson right there. But the divisive political content. What does that mean? If you
It means
have
anything that they disagree with.
well, yeah, but like, think about it. Politics is about disagreements and coming to
Correct.
an understanding,
Mutually.
maybe even
Yep.
some common ground. You know,
Hopefully.
hopefully, though, I think the common ground has been eradicated, and partially in part by companies like Facebook. But
Yeah.
what is divisive political content? It's always going to be divisive because you're taking a stand against or for a position, you know, and
Correct.
people are going to line up on either side or maybe a third option, you know.
And a lot of the times
the
the
whole
issue is-
idea of that is just nonsense. That being a bad thing. What's divisive is when you can't have that discussion.
Correct. And that's where I was leading with my thought was if you can't have a discussion about an issue that is divisive, whether it be abortion, life, death penalty, go down the list. You just anything that there's disagreement on, guns, political avenues,
Mm-hmm.
debt, whatever. If you can't have a discussion on it, and you only can have a discussion when it goes one way, there's no discussion.
Yeah.
There's no.
And that's what they want.
There's no argument. There's no debate.
They want.
And so, if there's no debate, then there's only one conclusion you can have.
They don't want there to be debate. They don't want there to
Correct.
be dissension. They want to.
Thought,
They want
reason.
to erase the right. They want to memory hole it all, and homogenize the political thought, the political content of all of America, and ultimately the whole world someday. You know, the globalists. I mean, kudos to her if she is truly fighting against Facebook, but that's as far as that goes because she does not stand for American ideals. And
Because the problem is
the Republicans and the Democrats that are coming together in a show of bipartisanship for this don't care about American ideals either, and they're going to intertwine social media with the government, and then we get state-controlled social media, and another way of thinking is gone for good.
well communicating
Yeah,
at all.
and the freedom of the internet is just down the tubes.
My biggest argument also, and I think this is one of the key things on this whole thing, is they're trying to tie this argument of Facebook with smoking when
Yeah.
they're two very vastly different issues that don't have any intertwining at all.
Mhm.
But they're trying to twine them together because we all know smoking is detrimental to your health, right?
Yes.
We've known that for decades now. It's been well proven, well documented. Now they're trying to say that, this form of social media is just as bad as smoking. It's addictive. It's hurting. It's this, that, whatever. Because how dare people be able to say what's on their mind?
Well, see, that's the thing. It is addictive, and it
Well,
does
yeah.
it does hurt us in certain ways, right? Well, like anything
could.
anything addictive leads to some kind of harm, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the content per se. Separate from the content, there's the keeping up with the Joneses thing. There's the I mean, I guess that's a little bit tied to content. Aside from political content, let's say, divisive content, hate speech, any of that garbage. There's the comparison game where there's only two types of people on social media. There's people whose lives are freaking perfect in every single way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people
I
whose
call
lives...
those the Instagrammers.
What's that?
I call those the Instagrammers.
Yeah. Or there's the people whose lives are never good and they're sad sacks every post is a sad sack post. And you're just like, dude, get a grip.
If my day would only end.
And that messes with people. That messes with people. So we know it's addictive, and those things are true. But they don't care about that crap. They really don't.
No.
They don't care about something. The government cares about whether you're addicted to something. Since when?
No, they don't.
Since freaking when? Oh, but the war on drugs. All right, now let's talk to a real credible person.
Yes.
They don't care about that. What they care about is what comes with the addictive and harmful stuff. Is the speech that they don't want proliferated freely to the masses.
How
the
dare
government
you
does
speak
not
out of
like
turn.
that the internet has revealed all their secrets. I mean, and if you don't realize that the internet has done that, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that. And they want to control it.
Of course.
And it just so happens that big tech is on their side. They want to control it too. Because they want to usher in the communist utopia that they think is just around the corner. But they're fools and they don't understand that utopia means no place. Like, it's literally not a thing. It can't happen. It won't ever happen. It's never happened. And it's an impossible goal. And all it does is destroy people. Except for the elites.
You can never attain perfection.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
All it does is destroy people. Well, most people. Just not the elites. They live high on the hog and, at our expense. But that's for another time. Well, on that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live. That's right, we use Facebook and we just crapped on them the entire show.
Yes, we did.
And I'm not ashamed of it.
Nope.
Anywhere you can get a podcast. And Instagram, minds.com, Rumble. Just check us out. We try to be where you can get us and share. Share. That is the duty of every Rube Empire citizen. So, credulous Rubes, share. And
Share.
And if you can, check out the podcast, write a review, all that stuff. Just help us out greatly. Yeah, just all to help us grow.
It doesn't cost anything.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't cost anything.
I'm done. Peace out.
Yeah. It's gonna be legendary right here, man.
Let's get it.
Word. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm just here to bring the facts. I'm not worried about your feelings. It's the way that y'all react. It goes way beyond the killings. Y'all can focus on the bad while I keep being the realest. Got me looking at the stats, trying to find out what the deal is. Take a look at DOJA murder rating, what they say, 52% on homicides, like we ain't taking vacay, that is sad. I don't get it, then you blame it on your people. claiming, no it's not. You just ignorant, you the problem, just admit it. Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro. I said it. I just said it. Drop the bomb. Boom. A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro.
See that nonsense stretching, venom in the comment sections. Off a limit, calling it progression. All you wanna do, follow deception, no direction. See the scope, it's the D and dope. Every argument will go past yours, and while they're feeding us like goats. See now, only gonna find the way truth into thy. Knowing about it, but taking two from the fight. Maybe you don't make it out doing right. They'll kill you and they will it suicide. Whistleblower, just some you're just a voter. Never wanted you to be a pistol holder. Every candidate been a joker. Oh no, sir.
Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
Y'all so pressed but master to swear up and down that Black Lives Matter and that y'all need Master and Master need y'all. I don't need nothing from nobody. I got Jesus, baby.
They gon' hate me for this one. Hashtag facts are racist. R.I.P. mom, you the greatest. Raised up a king and they hate it. Everyone mind about races when they're not the biggest problem we facing. Take a real look at the nation. Single motherhood inflation. With young boys I saw jumping a lady. She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags. Nobody waving no flags. You ain't even gotta ask. It's black on black on black on blacks. Everybody wanna play victim. Blame everything on the system. Be a sad day when it hit them. Life could have been different